hope we ain't catch you off guard. This is the crossover to Carl Williams with the GOAT of a coach.
Carla Harris, let's get it.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Listen, I know today's been busy for you. Back at school, back at school.
Back to school, yes.
How was your first
Interesting.
day?
A lot of miles walked, stairs and everything. But it was a smooth day. I won't lie, it was a smooth day. Got things done. Kids came, seemed to be ready to, it's always smooth and quiet. They're not really out of their shells yet. So we'll see and hope it stays smooth like this.
Hey, well, hopefully they stay in the shell with the social part, get out of the
Right.
shell with that learning part, and you know,
Exactly.
let that balance, that good balance right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, and speaking of which, Sylvia Fowles retiring from the WNBA, illustrious career, broke many records in the WNBA, championships, Olympic gold medalist, All Star, you name it. South Florida product. Come on now, talk about it.
Hey, all I could think about, when I think about Sia, right? I tell you that commercial when it was dangling right there, I almost had it. I almost had her in that maroon and gray, but it didn't happen. It wasn't in the cards, and I accept that. But I'm so proud of Seal and everything that she's accomplished. She's definitely a legend, a goat. Her legacy is concrete. Like, we can't say enough about what she means to South Florida, to the WNBA, to the U.S. Olympics. I mean, what? I mean, I think I would say I would put the stamp of like the most highly touted athlete for women's basketball in South Florida, in the state of Florida.
Absolutely. Hands down. Hands down.
Hands down. Hands
Yeah.
down.
Dunking in
Yeah.
high school, dunking
Yeah.
at LSU in college, dunking in the WNBA, and I'm talking about dunking right now to
Yeah.
end her career.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying longevity and consistency. That's the name of the game, man.
Yeah.
Just staying consistent. And you know what? She's a giver. And when I say giver, I mean she gives back to the community. She gives back to the young women of South Florida. She has a she's linked up with the Miami Suns and she always donates back to them. They have a team for her, Team Fouls. It's their top team in the organization. And you know, you just want to always believe that the young ladies that play with that will always continue to try and build upon that legacy because it means something when you're wearing somebody's name across your chest or behind your back and you know they're given to you.
Definitely. I mean, it means something to wear that jersey with the Miami Suns and Team Fouls. You want to make that elite team. My goal now is, let's see, what is she about to cross over into, and can we get us an interview?
Hey, that's all I'm saying. Who we got to call? Big bro. I know a big brother does a lot for her. Call big bro. Let's get her on here, man.
Let's get her
You know,
on.
for
Yeah,
sure. Mikkel, he's a Louisiana product, Baton Rouge, LSU grad, so he always in there. See, that's what I'm saying. Had a class
yeah.
with her, and there you go. It matches what we're saying. Personality and a smile. Always got a smile on her face every time I see her.
Always. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Coach, I did get to coach it with the Miami Suns during
I think
travel
they were.
ball
Hold on,
season.
I gotta stop because you know they were Hollywood. I always got to bring you back to the roots.
Wait, what were they called then?
Hollywood, Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the Hollywood Suns, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
they
because
really
Coach
started
Rich. Yeah,
Hollywood.
Coach Rich was.
Everything
Yeah.
go through Hollywood, baby. We
Yeah,
dominated.
I give you respect on that. Definitely had an amazing team with Seal and young women across the state of Florida. So yeah, it was a great team to be a part of, and I was assistant coach under Coach Rich over there, and just a pleasure to coach. Just always the epitome of excellence and hard work and great attitude. Can't say enough. I got too many adjectives to describe the player and the young lady that she's always been.
Hey, you know, anytime I could drop that Hollywood, I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop it.
I know
So
you
hey, everybody don't take it personal. Is
are.
it that
I
thing
know
that
you
means something to me? That's where I'm from. You know, that means something to me. So I always gotta plug us in there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't take it the wrong way. I know, I know, I know. I know it means a lot to you.
Exactly. Hey, we're gonna keep it WNBA though. The playoffs start tonight, and y'all know I'm all in with the Las Vegas Aces because I'm an alumni and they do it the right way.
Yeah,
Becky Hammond, first year. Asia Wilson should be the league's MVP. They kick off the playoffs tonight against Phoenix. So great expectations, man. I'm truly excited about this playoff run that's about to go down. It's gonna be some good basketball. So y'all make sure y'all tune in.
I'm going with the Aces because I seems like Phoenix has a little turmoil, little issues going on over there. So I'm definitely rocking with the Aces, and I feel for them and what they have going. But I think the Aces are ready to go ahead and take advantage of it. Opportunity. You just got to take advantage of opportunity. Hey, no matter what the other team is going through, let me take advantage of my opportunity.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's talk about Skylar Diggins not being a part of that Phoenix Mercury playoff team. We're talking about an all-star. We're talking about their starting point guard. We're talking about somebody that had a great year. It makes you wonder what's going on over there in Phoenix that made her step back away from that contract, from the team, and they actually suspended her contract for the rest of the year. That's a. I mean, we talk about point guard, post player all the time, and their starting point guard is going. How do they sustain?
That's a big loss. We talk about the point guard being that catalyst, that leader, that coach on the floor for the team. To lose her is major. And then I'm not sure how they're going to rebound from that. Who's going to be that leader? Who's going to be that go-to person? I'm really not sure how this is going to, I mean, well, I am kind of pretty sure. I don't think it's going to go well. That's my prediction. I
Right.
hope, hey, maybe Phoenix come out and say, you doubting us. But just in my prediction, it's not going to go well. You're already down BG, which I know you've been down BG all season. Yeah, and still, you had people rallying, but now you're down your point, your big and your point are gone.
Yeah.
Negative.
Major
Negative.
blows. Major blows.
Major blows. Major
Yeah.
blows.
And give us an update on BG since you mentioned her name. Is there an update on what her situation is? Is her attorney doing some type of appeal? What do you think is going to happen with that?
Yeah, my last research and reading, they're doing an appeal. I'm not sure how, the appeal will go, but we have seen where there was a Caucasian woman charged with similar offense, and she was able to do maybe 2 months and was released. So I think they're hoping that they can do something like that for BG. I'm not sure why they keep tying her to the other gentleman, the other American soldier,
Yep.
Paul, that's over there. I think we're not trying to do an exchange, because I don't think that's an equal exchange for whom the Russians were asking for. So I don't know why they keep tying the two of them together now that she's been convicted, she's been sentenced, she's got to face her appeal process. I think that should be a solo deal and figure out what you can do for her, because his offense is espionage. This is totally different
Yep.
than what she's facing. So I'm hoping, we're still praying and hoping, like, that there's light, early light at the end of her tunnel.
Yep, very true. Prayers still go out for BG and her family. But I gotta let y'all know, man, it's the season where you hear that da 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 da. It is football season, baby. It's
Yeah,
football season, man. First week preseason. I'm gonna tell y'all something. My Dolphins won without a starting quarterback. I know it's preseason. I don't care. A win is a win. I'm taking everything.
taking every win I could get. Ugly win, preseason win, we won. Let's go. Let's go. I don't care. We need it. I need the morale. We need the morale boost. Let's go.
Big facts, big facts. And then right after that, we gonna have that college season coming into play. I think we're about 3 weeks away. We're about three
Yeah.
weeks out, something like that. I'm ready, Giggle Maggies, and we got that matchup this season. See, we got that matchup. We gig 'em, gig 'em.
We're gonna see. I get, like, I love the pros, right? I love my Dolphins, but I get really stoked for the collegiate game. Like, I don't know. I really get hyped for the collegiate games, and back to back, I could just watch it all day. I just love to see those young men just so hyped for their opportunity. So I'm gonna go Canes. My Canes been putting in work, and I'm watching all the highlights. I'm watching all the updates. So I'm excited for what we are about to put out there on the field. Let's get them, Cristobal. Let's go.
Is I don't know what type of product y'all putting out, but I'm just saying, the Aggies come to town. And I don't care nothing about that product y'all putting out. I just know the Aggies better get that dub.
Hey, that's gonna be the one time we gonna be foes. That's a one
Facts.
time we gonna be foes. Like, yo, hey, like, gotta get him. Other side, you in that maroon, I'm over here in my orange and green, and we just gonna be going at it that day.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, Alicia Mercado says, "Let's go Dolphins." That's what I'm talking about.
All day, all day.
We
Let's get
ready.
it.
We ready, man. We're ready. Ready. Extremely excited about what's about to happen. But I want to tell you guys, man, I got a 5 minute session on WNBA radio doing their pay attention. Well, I'm calling it pay attention to sports, where I got 5 minutes to give all sports updates. So I always keep it updated, let you guys know what's happening. And yeah, make sure y'all tune in and listen. Gospel radio station down here in South Florida, probably the biggest gospel station
Oh,
radio
for
with
sure.
Victor Curry, with Bishop Victor Curry. So truly excited about that. And if y'all haven't already, y'all know y'all gotta go cop that notes from a coach. Notesfromacoach.org. Stop playing with it. Stop
Hey,
playing with it.
appreciate it. Wait, but hold on now. You kind of cut them off. So when can they check you out on WNBM?
Okay, so every Wednesday, not we didn't start this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, starting each and every Wednesday at 5:05. So after their news segment, I'm coming on with the sports. Pay attention to sports. You can actually download their app online at WMBM.com. Check that out. Go download the app. Y'all support your girl. Hey, listen in, critique me, let me know what I can get better at. But also, I want y'all to keep me updated with all the local sports going on, because we got youth football, youth basketball, baseball, soccer. It's sports. Let's get it.
Hey, you're gonna have a lot to cram in because we got to show enough shout out our South Florida teams. We got, hey, listen, my high school, Miami Northern, playing against those Dillard Panthers tomorrow.
Yeah,
So, all
that's
that type of stuff, you're gonna have to fill in on all those type of events. So it's gonna be exciting time. Big things popping.
yes,
If you
yes,
can imagine it, you can have it. Everything
absolutely.
starts with your imagination. So I'm sure you imagine yourself being able to have various opportunities, and look how they start to come about. So I can say that to everybody. If you can imagine it first, then you can start making it happen for yourself. So
Yep,
stars in
appreciate
the
that.
mind.
Appreciate that. Chantel Jones, definitely appreciate you for that. Very appreciative. Thank you. But without further ado, I tell y'all what, I'm an Aggie. I got a Kane as a co-host, but I'm about to bring up a Florida Gator. Now I don't know how the Canes and the Gators get along. I don't care. I'm an Aggie. But welcome to the show. Uh-oh. The Gator trying
About that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening to you guys with your Aggie and Kane talk, and I gotta say, Takar, I'm out here in Aggie land now. I've been here for 2 weeks, and I'm not feeling it.
ah. Hey, you know what? It takes a little adjustment. It takes a little bit of adjusting. I tell you this: from the outside looking in, you won't understand it. From the inside out, you can't explain it.
Mm, 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 mm,
No,
mm.
but hey, thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm excited. I'm humbled. I'm blessed to be on here with two South Florida legends.
Now we
Absolutely, we
appreciate you.
appreciate you. We appreciate you, man. So I want you to tell our fans, the listeners, who is Thomas Harrison.
Thomas Harrison is well, for the last 18 years, I was at Stranahan High School down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sorry, Carla, that we had to do your boys' team like that in the playoffs last year.
All right.
Um,
The
but
blows is
so
started already.
you already know. So 18 years as an educator, wrestling coach, and then I spent the last 6 years as the athletic director at Stranahan High School. And now I packed my stuff up and moved to Houston, Texas to try to just, little growth, little adult growth.
It's all right, coach. Change, sometimes can be scary and difficult, but it's sometimes it's necessary to be able to get to the next level. So I commend you on even taking that leap, that leap of faith to go ahead and make that move.
Appreciate it. Got to get out of that comfort zone sometimes.
What they say,
Ooh,
everything you
that's it.
want is on the other side of comfort. We get so comfortable, that we don't take that uncomfortable move. And hey, you speaking to me, I got some decisions to make for myself. So I love to see people stepping out there. Takara likes that. You
Talk
I
to
love
it,
to see
Thomas.
people out there, doing those type of things. That's big. So what are you doing out there in Texas land and Aggie land? What are you doing out there now?
So I'm teaching at Westside High School, coaching two sports I've never actually coached. Coaching assistant boys soccer coach and head girls softball coach. I actually came out here a couple weeks ago for a soccer game. I'm a Man City fan. Man City was playing in Houston. My college roommates live here, so I said, hey, you know what? One last trip before the school year starts, and I ended up at a job fair. and my one of my college roommates' wives is a principal, and she's like talking me into going to the job fair, and basically got an offer I couldn't refuse. And I had been before COVID, I was actually planning on moving overseas to really get out of my comfort zone, and COVID kind of put that on a delay, and then this offer came, and it was just everything aligned up, and I had 8 days to get back home, pack my stuff, pack up my classroom, my office, and hit the road to Houston, Texas.
Man, hold on. I gotta stop you in your tracks because you went just to visit before school starts,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of chill out with your friends, and you ended up getting hired. So I want you to talk to them about staying ready, even though you don't know what you're being ready for, but
Yeah.
staying ready because you never know when an opportunity is gonna come.
Exactly. This wasn't, it wasn't a spur of the moment thing. I had been thinking about it, so I mean, I already knew the process on like if I did get hired in Texas, everything I needed to do. So I had everything lined up to pull the trigger if I needed to.
Mhm.
One of the things, I'm lucky my dad had me in the Boy Scouts, so always be prepared. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And it really was that kind of situation where I everything fell into place. My apartment complex was about to get torn down, so I already started packing some stuff up. Um, I had already filled out all the stuff that I needed to teach in Houston, in various Houston school districts. So it was one of those things when I got that offer, it made it a lot easier to say yes because I had a lot less stress because I was ready. I was ready mentally. I was ready, physically and everything else. So I mean, we're athletes, we're in sports. We all know preparation is the most important part of any aspect of games and life.
Yep.
Yeah. And got to be able to pivot and adjust, to change. When it's time to change, I just got to be able to change. You can't be stuck in your way.
I'll tell you that my experience as an athletic director, that is probably the biggest attribute that I gained over that time is that everything you plan for is not going to happen the way you plan. So you got to be able to adjust and, midstream and go with the flow. And, one thing I know is I always figure it out. There's no reason to stress over it. We'll figure it out and, just keep working hard and we'll get it done. So.
I heard
Talk
you
to us.
mention your dad. If I heard you mention your dad, so has he been the most influential, or who's been the most influential in your life?
I'm so blessed to have what I call my yin and my yang, my mom and my dad. So a little background on my dad. My dad was the first African American to integrate his high school in Wildwood, Florida.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he was one of four. There was only four kids that integrated the first year. So he went through some stuff. Ended up going to the Marine Corps. Then got out of the Marine Corps to play college football at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and became a federal agent after some years as a police officer. So I had a former Marine, federal agent, Baptist deacon father. So the integrity, the work ethic, the accountability and responsibility, all that he instilled in me is definitely one half of who I am and one half of why I'm so successful. My mother, she's one of the most caring, loving persons on this planet, and that nurturing, that caring that I get, that I feel like gives me that extra edge as an educator and as a coach. I definitely get that from her. She gives me that softer side to step back, and when I see my dad coming out sometimes on a kid, I step back and I said, this kid needs my mom right now, not my dad. This kid needs a hug. This kid needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
So, both of them equally. And then I have a brother. I have an older brother who was played football at the Air Force Academy, wrestled at the Air Force Academy, became an Air Force pilot, turned down the NFL to be an Air Force pilot because back then you couldn't, leave and come back like you can now sometimes. So I had him to look up to and really show me, the right way to be successful also.
Man, wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say? Because you mentioned being an athletic director definitely just kind of challenged you. What would you say some of the obstacles that you faced becoming an athletic director?
My first big obstacle was the first hire that I wanted to make was Takara Williams, and she turned me down.
Here we go.
Am I lying?
You're not lying.
Okay. Like I want to say I ran into you maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after I got the job.
Yep.
So, so that was one. I will say being an athletic director in Broward County is difficult. Now that I'm seeing how it is out here in Texas, the resources you're given, the time that you're given, because in Broward County, you're teaching classes. I'm trying to teach a class, but I'm also dealing with a bus driver that just called in sick that has COVID, and I got a cross country meet that I got to find somebody to drive my kids to last minute. So time, the resources. Here they have a secretary, they have their own office. It's different here. At first, the community. I wasn't a Stranahan. I'm a Plantation High kid. I'm a colonel. So when Stranahan went to hiring a new AD, that's kind of a political position at the school level, and the community they wanted a Stranahan guy. And there's some things behind the scene that the community didn't know about on why that didn't happen. But getting the buy-in from the community. But I think some of the coaches hires that I made got them on my side real quick. Because I recognize there's no place like home, and if you want a coach to really be successful, bring them back to the alma mater, and they're going to do all right.
That's true. That's true. Hey, I love when Michelle say Sweets turn down the money.
It might not have been a lot of money, but it could have been a good time. I don't know about
that. No, but no, you're right about that, Coach. It's difficult to be able to balance those because, fortunately, I know at Norland the AD is full-time AD. They don't have any classes. They get to, so that's difficult to be tasked with lesson plans and been able to maneuver, the different things that happen with sports. So yeah, that's a difficult thing to do. That's why I know, you're ready for change. You'll blossom out there, and adapt very well because you've been able to learn how to adjust in tough times. So
appreciate that. And I wasn't teaching PE or I was teaching classes African American history, government economics. I was grading essays. It definitely wasn't easy at times. It definitely got stressful. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's 6 years of just being able to build something and seeing, a vision start coming through. And, I'm proud of everything I accomplished and everything I did, but it was definitely time to, try something different.
Yeah. And you know what? You put together a core of coaches that, number one, got the job done, brought you some state championships. Talk to us about that because there was no level of success like that prior to you taking on that AD position. So talk to us about, you bringing in people that the community is going to get behind, but that turned it into a winning program. And you guys didn't have the number one recruit in the nation or even the number one person in Broward County. So talk about that and how those kids bought into what the coaches that you brought to the school.
The number one thing I look at when I'm hiring coaches is, are they good people? When I brought in Coach Williams, there was other candidates out there that administration wanted, other people wanted, but I know who I wanted, and I had to fight for it. Coach Williams and I actually met him doing community service years before. Every year we would do in St. George Park book bag and haircut giveaways, back to school, and I just knew the type of person he was, and I knew how people spoke about him. So I didn't just do the interviews and the resumes. I actually went to the streets. I talked to AAU people. I talked to, other high school coaches. I talked to everybody because to me, it's a big deal because I'm trusting this adult with, I think those are my kids, right? Yeah. I think as a parent. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to put them in the best position to be successful in life. And when I felt like I did that in a lot of ways. I had 4 coaches win Coach of the Year in the Sun Sentinel between basketball, football, and girls basketball with Coach Hannah. And the one thing I can say about those 4 coaches, they're amazing fathers. I mean, to see them with their kids at games and at practices and the way they interact and how they care about their kids, I knew I made the right hires by seeing that. And then to go on into like the system that they brought in, I'm a wrestler. I know what hard work is. To me, basketball players and basketball practice was never anything that I kind of respected because it was something that to me, like, it looked like fun. Wrestling practice is a whole nother animal. I remember going to the first basketball practice when I hired Coach Williams, and I was like, they got some dogs out here. Like they get after it. Like this is physical. This is a different type of basketball. And because of the brand that they play, that brings us success. We're knocking off, 3-star, 4-star, going to these D1 programs throughout the state tournament without one kid being recruited. Our coaches are doing the recruiting for the kids. We're trying to get them in schools. The schools aren't coming to us, but our kids light up when they see a big name. They love the challenge. We stay with dogs, and certain kids that want to come to Stranahan now, if they don't fit that mentality, we'll turn down a 3-4-star kid that might. Trust me, I've had 4-star kids come into my office with their parents saying they want to transfer. And after the discussion with the coaches and everything, I looked at the coach, and the coach was like, it's not going to work because they don't have that dog mentality. They want to be the star. They want to be the one. And on that team, the way they run things, if you're not playing defense, if you're not hustling, you're getting pulled. They don't care about your shots. They don't care about, the points that you're putting in. They care about, are you going to go out there and hustle, play defense, and be a team player? And, I enjoy that program and what they've been able to do because they do it the right way.
That right. Prima donna, coming with that prima donna attitude, like somebody that could totally tear up the chemistry for your team. And I will say that I love the work ethic that your young man brought to the table on the basketball court. It was a lot of hard work, not just from the 5 that started, but when you brought kids in off the bench, when Coach brought kids in off the bench, they were working hard as well. So that was a testament to what was expected of them. Definitely.
Hey, Officer Justice.
Yeah, Nina wanted to tell you hello. Alicia says that you're an amazing person, Coach Harrison. It's a blessing to know you. Much support over here. That's love.
You can't be doing this on live. You got me up here tearing up and whatnot.
Hey, Nina, what's up? Hey, it's good to see you. Nina? Always for our support, man.
We appreciate you, Kim, too. Thank you for the shout out. Yeah, we're going to keep these type of conversations happening for the community, But Coach, tell me this. I was going to ask you about what you were going to take from South Florida to Texas, right? But more or less, I want to know what's your vision for yourself in Texas. I know you're coaching soccer and softball right now, and you're teaching. What's your vision for yourself in Texas now?
That's a great question. So, this move is part of a bigger plan. I kind of had to take a step back from a role to one day get probably a bigger role. So when I stepped on campus, I went straight to the AD and I was like, look, I'm a former AD. I was hired. They said that you had some coaches openings that you needed filled. I've been in your position. You let me know where you need me, and I'm there because I'm a team player. It's never been about me. I don't wear clothing that has even like my name or my athletic director embroidered on it because it's always been about, Stranahan High and the kids. The one piece of clothing I did have was a hoodie bought by that Coach Skinner gave to me before he passed that, means a lot to me. And I'm even uncomfortable wearing that because it has my name huge on the back. So when I came in, I understand that I want to become an athletic administrator on a whole nother level. I want to get better as an administrator on the administrative side. So even though I'm teaching and coaching, I'm still going to be working on my craft in athletic administration. I want to get my certifications on a national level. And I'll be honest, my ultimate goal, I think my dream job would be one day. We had at University of Florida, we had a Dr. Carradine. He was basically like the guidance director for the athletes. And to be in that role, to guide athletes at that level at a major D1 program on, life in general, life after athletics, but also dealing with athletics, dealing with the class, dealing with relationships, all the things that come with being a young adult that, it's a difficult time for a lot of these kids. And it's getting even more difficult for this generation coming up than it was for us. So just like, I think that's my gift to the universe and to the world is, I think being in Texas and being able to, one day get back into an athletic administration role and possibly on the collegiate level would be, what I'm really aiming for. But right now, I'm just whatever my school needs, it's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to step in and fill these roles in these positions and help, Westside High School be the best school they can be in. That's where I'm at right now.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome, Coach. Tell us about what sports has done to impact your life.
So I grew up in a household where we weren't allowed to not be doing something extracurricular. I've been playing sports since T-ball. My dad played every sport in high school. Listening to him, he would have been the greatest wrestler in Florida history if they had wrestling when he was around. But he played junior college baseball and junior college track before he went in the Marine Corps, where he was a football player in the Marine Corps. My mom, big sports fan. She played sports growing up. It's been a foundation of, really my whole life. So being in sports has taught me so much. One, because of my dad's strictness, it kept me in line academically because I wasn't allowed to get C's or miss homework or sports was taken away. So my love for sports is the reason why my, GPA was, high enough to where I can get into the great University of Florida.
That's a shot at the Kane gang over there.
No. Hey, much respect. Hey, one thing I can say is that these three universities academically are on par. So there's not a lot of track when it comes to academics between these three.
Yeah.
But wrestling and specifically wrestling and being a wrestler taught me so much discipline. I mean, my senior year, I had to lose 8 pounds on Thanksgiving Day.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. You didn't say a week. You said on the day.
Thanksgiving Day.
On the biggest eating day in.
I ate ice chips my senior year for Thanksgiving dinner. But having that discipline, I had to do it. So I put on the garbage bags, which I don't, now we know that's a terrible idea. And, I don't condone that. Like, please, kids, don't do that. But I ran 4.5 miles around my neighborhood. Then I jumped on my bike and rode that 4.5 miles, turned my shower into a sauna, and everybody's sitting there eating and I could smell everything. And just having that discipline that I know that I had to keep working while everybody else is, having fun for Thanksgiving and watching football.
Yeah.
It helped me develop an acronym that I've always used in athletics. It's hard work. H is for honor, which is it's not about you. It's you're honoring other people. I tell my athletes when they step on the field, Stranahan, that S represented all your classmates, represented your teachers, your admin, your principal. So when I was out there, I cared deeply about my family. I didn't want to disrespect my name. Then A is accountability. It's okay to mess up. And it's one thing that my former principal, Ms. Padura, actually really enjoyed about me is if I messed up, I went to her office and said, look, I messed up, but I also came with a plan on how I wasn't going to mess up again that way. Now I might make another mistake, but it's not going to be that same exact way because I held myself accountable. And then responsibility, it's one of these things that I think is really lacking in society now is responsibility and accountability. And then the D, discipline. It's doing what you're supposed to do, even though it's not what you want to do, right? And that is probably the most difficult thing because that part of the brain isn't fully developed in that teenage life. So, wanting to go out on that Friday night and party, even though I know I got practice at 7 a.m. or workout at 7 a.m., that's that discipline to do what you're supposed to do, even though it's not what you want to do. And then at the end of the day, a work ethic. If you put all that together, there's nothing in life you can't really succeed at.
Man. Good stuff, Coach. Those two words for me, accountability and discipline, are in every aspect of success, achievement. If you're not going to do it without those two words, being accountable and being disciplined, So, and if none else, you're going to have to be disciplined. Doing the things that you don't always want to do, but you need to do. So definitely.
We are all from South Florida, and we know right now that the best athletes in the world that never made it to the pros lack that discipline. Are hanging out on the corners now. We grew up watching them, and if they just had that discipline, they would have generational wealth by now.
Yeah, definitely. I always
How,
tell my kids that not the best athletes, sometimes not the best athletes are the ones that you see. There are a lot of great athletes that you don't even get to see because they were undisciplined. They
Mm-hmm.
just could not take the regiment of what the coach said. The coach said go run 20 miles. And like, I'm not running 20 miles, and they quit, or I'm not 20 miles, 20 laps, and they quit or whatever. So just being undisciplined or not willing to be disciplined, a lot of people just aren't able to succeed. So yeah.
and it sounds like you led from the heart. As an athletic director, you're a leader from the heart, servant leadership. You see that in so many successful people, CEOs of businesses, coaches, even in athletic director positions. And those things were instilled in you while you were younger, but to sustain those and then carry them into your career. So when you see kids like on that path, like you can see the greatness in them, and they may be falling off. How do you handle that situation with them?
Those are my favorite kids, because I feel like that's the reason I'm in the position I'm in, right? It's not the ones that are self-disciplined. Like the kid that we have right now, Hakeem Williams, uh, I know you Aggies really like him.
Man,
um,
listen, he's like a man child.
he,
I,
he's, he's an amazing human being at that. Also, like, I mean, he's a kid, he doesn't need me in his life. He's going to be successful because he's got his head, on his shoulders. But there's other kids that we've had um, that I would ask them, when I first got into education, I was like, hey, you're an amazing football player, but you have a 2.2. Like, what's your plans? I was like, oh, I'm going to make a joke about I'm going to University of Parkway. I'm going to Melrose. I'm going to Melrose State. And I was like, no, seriously, like it. And he actually ended up going out to California, going JUCO, and ended up at Memphis. Had a great career, and now I look at the type of father and husband he is, and that's a kid that I felt like, what, I'm hoping that my little influence helped guide that, because that is my favorite thing to do is go on social media and see the type of fathers and husbands and men and women and mothers that I've been in contact with, that I get Father's Day's texts from, and everything like that. So that's what it's all about. Is that kid that you see going down the wrong track, that didn't have a father like me that kept them in line, or didn't have a mother like mine to show that they care. Because a lot of times that's all these kids need is somebody that cares about them.
Yeah.
We're quick to kick kids off of campus without asking, why are these kids hanging around campus? And a lot of times that's the only place that they find love and acceptance. Home life is terrible. The community is terrible that they're in. So when they're there, they feel accepted, they feel loved, they feel safe. They feel safe physically, mentally, spiritually. So giving the kids, just letting them know that you care, that you're there for them, and showing them there's another way. That they a lot of it comes down to self-esteem. A lot of our worst behaved kids, it's because of self-esteem. And if you can make them feel good and about themselves, then there's no telling where they can end up.
I agree, Coach. They act out because they that's a deterrent to what they're really dealing with. So most definitely something that we have to definitely take a look at. Yeah.
And I just looking at social media in the past, just checking your social media out, and I never noticed about you that you were in a bad accident at one point.
Yeah.
And you yourself know what second chances mean. So when I saw that, I was like, man, that's crazy. So I understand, and I see why you do what you do and how you do it so graciously, because man, opportunities, you understand that you never know if you're gonna get another opportunity. So
Yeah, I definitely looking at that car and hearing the story from the highway patrolman, I shouldn't be here right now. That actually happened my first year teaching, and it was during Christmas break. I was coming back early for wrestling practice, so I cut my Christmas break off 1 week, came back, was driving home, and a car lost control on the Florida Turnpike and came across the median. There was no guardrails back then. It was just grass and dirt. And an SUV came across, flipped, and it basically landed right on top of my windshield, like right on top of my seat.
Whoa.
So I actually fractured my skull right here, had a little bleeding, a little swelling in the brain area, but I didn't miss a day of work. That was my drive, was to get back to the kids. And one of the athletes he wrote me a really nice note, and he had a terrible home life. I didn't, this gentleman with some stuff at home, alcoholic father, abusive father, and he said that seeing me get in that accident and not miss a day and still be there and still have positive energy really helped him get through his senior year. And you never know who you're going to impact just by how you carry yourself. So I knew that I still had a job here to do, that it wasn't, luck, but it was, I wasn't finished here. And so I had to just keep, on my mission of what I'm doing here on the universe while I can.
Yeah, I'm a testament to him pushing through, man. I don't know what he did to his leg, but he was trying along on this little electric wheelchair for games. I'm like, man, you okay? But he still was moving along, moving stuff around. I'm like, man, he's never gonna stop. But yeah, I'm a testament to that hard work that you put out there for sure.
That was a torn Achilles tendon. That was not fun, but. And 2 days after surgery was signing day. So I'm not going to miss signing. I mean, that's my favorite day of the year. Seeing we had over a dozen kids, reach a goal that they've been trying hard for, and to celebrate that, I wasn't going to miss it. So yeah, 3 days after surgery, I was at the school for signing day, and then right after that, the basketball playoffs started. So, doctor probably wasn't happy with it, but these are moments that I can't get back, and I wasn't going to miss for anything. So but yeah, that actually happened, moving wrestling mats from the gym to the back to the wrestling room, and then came back, and kids were playing basketball, and boom, I thought somebody hit me with a basketball, turned around to beat up whoever it was, and nobody was behind me. And I reached down, I knew right away, I reached down and I felt it, and my Achilles tendon was gone.
Yeah. Oh, you've been through some battles.
Hey, you know what? It only makes you better.
So talking about these battles, what would you tell if you had an opportunity to speak to your younger self, being the man that you are right now today? What would you tell your younger self?
Have more confidence in who you are and what you believe in. Be your true self. Don't try to, because we're all caught up. I remember in college, I had a friend and she cursed me out. She let me have it. And she basically said, when we're together, when we're hanging out, whatever, we're talking, you're a totally different person than when I see you out at the club or out, doing whatever. You try to be so cool. And, it took a while for me to really love and appreciate the inner, I guess, hippie nerd, because as a wrestler, you have that mentality is I got to be tough, and you can be tough and still, not gonna say soft, but still be nurturing and caring, and so definitely really, really love who you are, and just be your true self. It probably took me till I was like 30 before I became my true self or comfortable with my true self. So that'd be the number one. And then also shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Like I don't know how many people I've run into in life that's like, oh man, you're doing great. They might say, I really liked you back then or something like that. And I liked them too, but because I didn't have that confidence, because I wasn't comfortable who I was, now I'm like, shoot the shot.
Yeah. All you can do is say no. Hey, I'm in the same position I was in.
Yeah. Right? Exactly. and that's not bad.
That's not bad. I'm not in a bad position. So either I'm, you're gonna join me or I'm gonna be in a good position either way. So that's good stuff, Coach. That's a good message to send to our younger people that's listening, or anybody that's listening. Yeah. Shoot your shot and just be comfortable with who you are. And I would add, like, I'm not adding to your saying, but I would say just know that you're enough, regardless. Mm-hmm. And anybody in your space that don't think so, they don't need to be in your space. Just know that you're enough. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Last question I have for you before Carter take you through the hot cross zone. What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy is it's almost everything, right? I mean, so I asked my parents. I don't have any tattoos, but I want to get tattoos. But I don't know anything that I really care about that much to have it on my body permanently. So I gave my parents a little slip of paper and I said, hey, if you were on your deathbed, what message would you leave me? So my mom writes in her typical fashion, I will always love you, love mom. My dad writes a paragraph about integrity and about being a man, and times get tough, and you can't cheat, you got to just hard work and all this stuff, and he signs it Johnny Harrison Sr., his full name. So then my mom reads that and she's like, give me mine back. And she writes, don't listen to your dad, live life, have fun. Right.
I love
But legacy, so coming from my father and like his whole thing with integrity and just being a good person and a hard working person and stuff like that, legacy means everything, because it's not about, it goes back to that honor. My legacy is not about me, it's about the people that raised me. It's about my grandmother, and my great grandmother, and those that were slaves, enslaved, and learning their history. And it's like, how dare I mess up all the work that they've done? Like my father being, had I known the story more when I was younger about my dad and being the first to integrate his high school, I probably would have been a 4.0 student instead of a 3.7 student. Like I would have put that extra effort in, because I knew that he was going to a school where teachers were, using the N-word, or kids were spitting on him, and he was getting in fist fights every day. And here I am in Plantation Acres because of the hard work that he's put in. It has everything handed to me.
Yeah.
How dare I not get a 4.0? So my legacy is I got to build. Every man wants to, leave something that their futures can build on, right? And my parents did an amazing job with that. So for me, I may not have my own family, my own kids, but I got a lot of kids, my own, that I claim, and what they're doing now. I had a kid, I don't know if you guys watch MMA, but this past weekend, Delano Taylor on ESPN, he, again, stay ready, you don't have to get ready. He got called in at the last minute to go over to Wales to fight the number 1 seed in this tournament on ESPN. And he was a big underdog and knocked him out in the first round.
Woo!
And seeing this kid who was a gangly, like had no athletic ability coming into high school, he walked into the wrestling room thinking it was like WWE. And just seeing the development of him as a person and the confidence that he got because of the coaching that he was given and the opportunities that he was afforded and the experiences, and to see him now taking on some of the top people in the MMA world and being successful. Like, to me, that's my legacy, right? I got a kid right now who went to Cincinnati to watch Serena play yesterday. He's my first county champion, Antonio St. Rose. He's actually here in Houston. I can't wait. Like, he's my first son. I always say, you're my firstborn. And to see him to a point where he can afford, financially to get up, fly to Cincinnati on the last minute and buy front row tickets to watch Serena play, because he's fallen in love with tennis the last 2 years. And he's gone to the U.S. Open, and now we're talking about taking trips to go watch tennis matches together, and seeing the type of husband that he is and the type of work that he's doing. My first state placer, the type of, he's in the Air Force, seeing, the type of father that he is, and, and seeing his kids grow. And I remember getting that call that I'm going to be a grandpa, and I said, we got to come up with a different word than grandpa, and just seeing all that, that's my legacy, is that, I used to preach to my kids every time we went to a gym. We left it better than we found it. And that's what I want to do here on earth. I want to leave everybody that I meet better than I found them. That's what I want my legacy to be.
That's awesome.
Well, Coach, I'm going to get you in this hot cross zone, but
Let's do it.
I've admired you from the sideline, but tonight I have become a true fan. Like, you spoken words, I could just sum it up, of servitude. To me, that's what comes to mind now that if I mention your name, Coach Harrison, I'm going to say servitude. Like, his life is dedicated to serving our kids and making them better men and women. And there's no greater honor than to be able to give back to our kids. So thank you for your service. And I hope that you continue to provide that service and edification and empowerment to our youth. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys.
So let's get into this hot cross zone. I don't want to get all emotional, because I love all that you're doing. That's me in one. But let's go. Hot cross zone, Coach. 5 questions. We're going to ask you just to get to know Tommy a little bit better. So what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is the shrimp and grits that I make.
Wait a
Say,
minute.
I
So you
may.
cook too?
The plan is to actually open up a food truck while I'm here in Houston.
Let's get it. All right.
Hey, listen,
Hey,
hold on,
complete.
hold on. You know, when I fly to go to College Station, I stop in
Uh-huh.
Houston, so you know I'm gonna hit you up.
I got you.
All right. So dessert or no dessert?
No dessert.
No dessert. We're gonna just chop it up with that food and keep it going. All right. So on the you do a lot of sports, but we're gonna stick with basketball. Do you like the fast game or the slow game?
So young me loved the fast game. Young me was getting pulled out of the game by my dad because I was going behind the back doing finger rolls instead of using the glass and stuff. Me now, I'm a spot up, and shoot it. A lot of people don't know I actually won a 3-point shooting contest at Midnight Madness my sophomore year in college.
Okay,
I,
All right.
I got a little something every once in a
all
while,
right.
but yeah, that's where it ends. So, but I'm an AI fan. I grew up on AI, so you get the ball and go,
Ah,
get the ball
yeah.
and go.
Okay, hit him with a cross. All right. All right. So we usually ask about the point guard or the post, but I'm gonna talk to, like, we're gonna omit that one tonight. I want to know, being the AD that you are, and you come across all the sports, you were the wrestler, you play a little basketball. What's your favorite sport? What's your number one sport?
It's wrestling's my favorite sport. I mean, it's like a fraternity. When you meet somebody that's wrestled, because you know what they've been through, you know the discipline that they've had, how you just have ultimate respect for them. You might not even like them, but Nina knows. Nina's had them shrimp and grits
Right.
before.
Then I'm gonna get you
So,
for not sharing that.
Yeah.
but yeah, wrestling's my favorite that has my heart. But college football is my favorite thing in the world.
Okay.
I got my degree from University of Florida in television production to actually work in sports television, and actually had my dream job. Actually had my dream job out of college. I produced the coaches shows for UF my first year out of college, and I hated it because I knew where I belonged. I'd always mentored and tutored kids, and I just knew that's where I belonged. So I had to make the change into education.
Yeah, you couldn't impact the lives behind the camera like you could
Yeah.
on the other side. So definitely, definitely. So being that you've been on the AD side and you've helped kids get themselves in position to receive those scholarships that they so desperately need to be able to change their lives. Can you give us like three things that a high school player can do to increase their chances of receiving an offer? What are three things you think they need to have in place?
So the first thing we all know, you got to have the grades, right? Got to have the GPA to be eligible. Um, so that is number one. Number two, you know, I know a lot of college coaches, and they come in and I tell these kids, and a lot of them, they're too young maybe to understand it, but the way you carry yourself in practice and in the games goes a long way with these college coaches because I had a coach on the sideline, Charlie Partridge at Pitt. One of our brothers, good friends, played high school football with my brother, amazing human being. And we're sitting on the sideline, and he looked at a kid, and he's like, you know what? That kid has NFL talent with a JUCO attitude because of the way he's handling himself in practice. And he's like, we're not going to recruit, even though he's got NFL talent, we're not going to recruit him. So added grades, attitude, and then also just being a good person. Your social media tells a lot about you. That's another resume. And, that's why I love Hakeem. Like, you go on his social media, you get who he is, and he's just a good kid. So, keeping that social media stuff clean and I tell them that's a resume. That's part of your resume for college. So those are three things I would tell kids right now is make sure you have your GPA at 3.0 and above, have a great work ethic and attitude in practice and in the games, and then keep your social media clean.
I love it. Coach, is Hakeem the post player you had?
He was our number 12. He was our post player.
So he's a wide, is that the wide receiver or something?
He's a 5-star wide receiver.
Did he graduate or did he come back?
No, he's going to probably graduate in December. This is his senior year. He was a junior last year.
Okay, so he came back. So he still has another football season to play.
Yeah, still got another football season to play.
Amazing. Now, I could tell he was a football player, just the way he came, but he's a heck of an athlete. That's one thing, definitely heck of an athlete. And that's good to hear that he has not only the the athletic ability together, but he has his mindset together, because that's going to take him much further than his athletic ability.
Yeah, I mean this kid, one of the football people, they called him a unicorn. He codes, he codes. His math is his favorite subject. He's an engineer, robotic engineer. Like he's just
Ooh,
yeah.
Welcome to
amazing.
Aggie Land, baby. Welcome to
So
Aggie
wait,
Land.
is he going to Texas A&M?
We
No,
don't know. We're gonna find out September 23rd is when he's gonna make the decision.
Oh, coach, hey,
hey,
T over
listen,
there putting the bid in for you.
I'm about to go to Stranahan.
Go
Akeem,
ahead
we
and make
got
some
the
recruiting
same.
violations so he can't go there.
Now listen, we got the same last name. That's my cousin, man.
Go ahead and do something you're not supposed to do so he can't go there.
No,
Oh no,
absolutely
no,
not.
don't mess him up,
Akeem,
T.
I would tell you from afar. Aggieland is where it's at, my
Oh,
brother. But I know the sky's the limit for him.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
watching him when you guys played against Norland, you could tell his attitude, his demeanor, like
yeah.
he's just a natural born leader outside of the athleticism. So I mean, it was a
Exactly.
joy to watch him play. It really was. I can only imagine on the field. Oh my God.
Uh,
I mean, his
he,
physique is remind me of DJ Metcalf.
yeah. I mean, he's a young beast. People don't know. You're watching him like 17-year-old out there doing that last year.
Yep.
So
Hey Kim, thank you so much. Appreciate you, long time friend. Appreciate you. We want to continue to bring this, these people like Tom to the community, like to be able to hear his story, and they need to know what we have in our communities and how our kids are being impacted and how people are making crossovers to continue to excel in life, man. So we appreciate you so much, Coach. Everything ain't nothing but blessings out there in Texas, and definitely next time we slide on through Houston, I want to come on and check you out.
I want to get them shrimp and grits. I'm going to
Sure,
let's
get
do it. Let's
them.
do it.
sure.
I appreciate you guys. I love what you guys are doing. I wish you all the success in the world. Keep it up.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
you, bro.
much.
You
We
take care.
appreciate you coming on.
All
Have a
right.
good one and take care.
All right.
Man, awesome. I mean, the gems that were dropped. I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
Broward County, Carl. I know you're in Miami Dade, but Broward County. This the second person I know of stature that we've let get away from our county. We had Melvin Randall on. We let him go to Dade County. We just had Thomas Harrison on. We let him go to Texas. Broward County, what we doing?
Yeah.
We can't have these people leaving. Our kids is important. Now, I'm not saying that I'm messing with God's work. I'm just saying Broward County, we got to do a better job at retaining talent.
Yeah, yeah, retaining your people that can really. He did a great job. Like I'm no slide to Stranahan, but I didn't really know Stranahan
Yep,
until those athletic teams began to do the things, and that was under his tutelage, and his guidance. So hey, shout out to him, to Coach Tom. Everything that you did, Coach Harrison, was amazing. I saw him from afar,
yep,
never got a chance to talk to him, but to meet the man tonight and really get to know the man tonight, I have nothing but high esteem for him. Nothing
man.
but great things to say about
Listen, it made me go back into my mind and like, man, I might have was supposed to take that Stranahan job, man.
him. God's work, God's time.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. But I love what he brought to that program. The school in general, everybody I know has nothing but great things to say about him. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing. Before we get out of here, I just need y'all to know something. My guy that's out in LA, 532 mil, 2-year contract. I'm just saying,
What
highest
in
paid,
the
highest
world?
paid NBA player ever in history. I'm just saying. I
I
ain't gonna
mean,
say
like
no
his
names.
children's children, 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 children. Like that's all I can say.
I
Like
ain't gonna say no names, man. But y'all know what it
we
is.
already know LB the king.
They can hate him, but listen, the guy is the first active NBA player to become a billionaire, and now he's the highest paid NBA player in history. Setting trends. One thing we can say about him, when everybody comes on our shows and says they give servant leadership, he does display that a lot. Social advocacy, has a school, pour backs into kids. I mean, you can hate him on the court all you want to, but he's a doer, and he's a giver.
Yeah, definitely. I have nothing but respect for him because of what he does in the community, and because he uses his platform to speak out against things that we injustice we see in the community. So big shout out to LB signing and inking that major deal.
Yep.
What can they do? Like the next person, like what we gonna be giving out billion dollar
Listen, I want a challenge to myself. It's a 180-day, a 6-month challenge, just pouring into you,
Yeah,
dominate you. And I'm saying it for 6 months because in order to succeed and get to the next level, sometimes we hold ourselves back because number one, at times we're afraid to step into what is waiting for us. We have apprehensions because again, when you reach a new level, you've never been there before, so it's
yeah,
uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable, but
yeah,
everything we want is outside of our comfort zone.
yeah.
So I'm spending 6 months, 180 days, just pouring into me, whatever that looks like, and on that journey, helping others, always pouring into others too. But it starts with pouring into yourself, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.
I read the other day, or was it one of my videos I was watching? I think it was Jim Rohn said, that it's no failure, it's just feedback.
That's it.
So take every opportunity, take the risk.
Yep.
Don't look at it as failure. It's feedback. So now I know how to do it differently. Let me get back out there and let me do it another way.
Yep.
So man, shout out. Hey, I'm in with you.
Let's
Six
get
months,
it.
of,
Six months.
putting into myself. I'm all for that because the better I am, the better I can be for other people.
There
And
it
that's
is.
you know.
There
Hey
it is.
y'all, we appreciate y'all tonight for tuning in. Nina, Kim, everybody that tuned in tonight. We appreciate you guys. Another great show, T.
Already. And you guys know every Wednesday, 7 p.m., we bring you a guest that's going to bring value because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure we're allowing others to use this platform to reach whomever. And if we're the vessel to be utilized for that word to go all across the globe, then so be it. But we definitely want to always make sure we have someone bringing value. And I think we hit on that every week.
Yeah. Hey, like we always tell y'all, use the game. Don't let the game use you. Until next time, y'all be good.
Good night and gig 'em Aggies.